Alright, so right now we're running the wire for the EBC 330 Wort Hog. That's what's going to be powering the system. Using Blichmann's boil coils and the EBC 330. Right now we've got wire run to hook this guy up. That's going to come down that conduit. There's a pull-through box. We're going to run the wire up, around, over to here, and into that box that I have set up. That's where 220 comes across for our welders and all that other cool stuff. We have power. Have that coming through the ceiling, right down. The controller will be mounted there next to it on the wall. So I should have plenty of room to run my power over to the kettles. Now is the time to install the boil coils into my Brew Build kettles. My one Brew Build kettle is going to be the HLT. The other Brew Build kettle is going to be my boil kettle. They both get these boil coils from Blichmann, which is pretty cool. They'll come through. You have this deal that goes on the outside. The bolts go through, tighten up, and voila. This is the cordage for it. So it plugs in. The center post is actually for stability of the plug. Blichmann comes with a good set of instructions, but the one thing you got to realize when you get these instructions are they're actually geared more towards a Blichmann pot. These are Brew Build pots. So on the back page of the instructions, you're going to have a template. And you're going to want to pull that template out, and you're going to want to cut it out and affix it to your kettle, like I did here. I have this one taped on. And what that'll do is that gives you where to put it. Now, this is a Brew Build kettle. My spigot is at a different location than what it is for a boil or for a Blichmann kettle. So what I'm doing is I just kind of ran my center line over from where the bottom coil is going to be, and I have it matched up over here. And I'm going to simulate that this is laying on the bottom of the pot, so this hole will be up from the bottom of the pot. The bottom of the coil is going to be about yay far off the bottom of the pot. So my idea is I want this coil to actually just be above. Okay, let's mark this up. I'm not going to need to leave this on there because the punch that I use puts a pretty good seat in there, so I'm not worried about losing my place. But I want to just move these out of the way now. We're going to run the drill backwards. To set the hole, and then forward. Do the same thing with this one. I'm going to move some of this liquid down. Okay, that is the pilot hole. Bottom one here first. I'm going to spread off again. Keep it good and lubricated. Okay, that's my last step that I want to do on that one. So you can see the two holes, pretty nice. Yeah. The burrs aren't really that bad, so we'll clean them up a touch. So, there are the two holes for the boil coil. No burrs on the inside. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean this guy up, and once I get it good and clean, I'm going to get that oil off of it and stuff. We'll come back and we'll hook up the boil coil. Got our holes drilled. They're right here. Cleaned up the kettle real nice. Let's see what this looks like. Alright, so we'll take these guys off. The one thing I have noticed is with this this cover does not give these meat hooks a whole lot of room to get these nuts started. So you'll watch me struggle through that. You're going to want to bring it down this way so as you get to the bottom of the pot, it's going to slide right in the holes. That way it gets past that. There. Got them started. Okay. Let's make sure you have that going in the right direction. See if I can get that started. There we go. Sometimes life is a struggle when you're a big guy. We're just going to bring this up to where it's just up against. Same with this one. Because that's one of the really nice things about the boil coils is they're a bulkhead. So the other part that's not as easy, especially seeing that I have a temperature gauge in here, is getting the adjustable on that bottom one, which that time was a charm. So let's go ahead and tighten that one up. Okay, that's good. And we'll go ahead and tighten that one up. Okay, outstanding. There, we got the cover on the outside, you can see, right there. And the boil coil on the inside. So, I don't know if that made it look easy or hard, but I figured I'd show you how I did it. Story, this pot, this was actually the last pot that I sold out of my store before we closed it, and I bought it back because memories. This brew system is going to be special. There we go. All right, so that is how you put a boil coil in to a kettle. Wow. I got my holes marked and I actually got my pilot holes drilled, 3/16 of an inch drill through the pot here for the herms coil. I'm trying to place everything at the right spot so that everything's out of the way. So I have this. I don't really need this probe, but it's there. I'm not going to take it out. My boil coil holes are right over here, so I'm kind of basing things off of that. This is the pot that is the HLT, which I ran this boil coil up a little bit too far off the bottom of the pot. So that will then in turn kind of push everything else up a little bit. So, this is nerve-wracking. So, alright, I went ahead and, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll show you. If you look on that step bit, you'll see a red line. I want to continue to see that red line, so I got to stop at the step up before that is 13/16. Yes, 13/16. So, here we go. Let's drill. I'm actually going to give it a little bit of lubrication right now. And away we go. 1, 2. Okay. That actually does work pretty decent. I'm still going to take some sandpaper to it and clean it up. But there's the 2 holes for the herms. Not too bad. We'll clean them up a touch. Well, there they are. There's the ports. It's literally the bottom coil was right above that probe. I actually couldn't have got more perfect with that. I could have come down just a little bit and had that probe go between the 2, but that'll work. It's this way you know what it looks like on the inside. So there's the herm coil on the inside of the pot. I just have this finger tight. Okay, so that pot's going to be sitting there. Here's the herms. This, I think, I'm going to actually probably just mount right over here. Off to the side. So like directly across from that, about 2/3. I want it to be up here high. Because again, this is going to have a lid on it pretty much the whole time. So no big deal there. And then for the mash tun gets the longer probe. And that guy I'm going to put down here on the bottom section. It'll be down here because I want to be able to, yeah, so that's mash tun. Yep. Okay. So next one's going to be this, and that's a small hole, and another. One of the things I'm finding with this, and I'm not happy about it, is they didn't really give me any instructions on how to install it. I want it to be, like I can go anywhere here. It's really not going to matter. I'm just going to go right in there. And I guess what I'm getting at is I don't know what size this is. So I guess I gotta go this way. I need to drill a 1/2 inch. Yeah. 1/2 inch hole. But that would have been a great piece of information to have in the instructions. Alrighty. So clean this up. last hole for the HLT, and that's going to have this spigot, or this, that one will go there. So that's where, when I'm doing my recirc for the water while I'm mashing, that's where the water, it'll basically be going from here to here. That way I have a circulation of the water over the herms coil and the boil coil to control the temperature. So next thing I need to do is actually put another hole in the kettle here, and this will be, I'm still kind of on the fence. I think I'm going to. Actually, I have a couple options. I can actually make this work. So what I'm going to probably do is put a port in at the top of the boil kettle. That way when I'm collecting my wort and I'm going through the sparge cycle, I'll be coming out of the pump, coming out of the mash tun, and into the kettle. I might put another spigot down here in the kettle, so that I have, which I can do, that way I have a whirlpool that I can put in there. And that's what this guy will do. So, bam. So that means I need to drill 2 more holes. I'll put 2 holes in this. All the holes are out of this. I do need to get a plug because I don't really need that temperature probe in the HLT. It's not really necessary. So that is it for the drilling of the HLT. So I'm going to put this guy back together because that's going to be for the HLT. Boom, boom, boom. So we know what that's for. He goes to that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a hole in, probably off to the side here a little bit, right around here, for my I'm just going to do it. That way it's there. That way I can just connect my I don't want to put it here. I want to plug that one off too. Well, this one can actually stay on. I know I am talking in circles. I need to cut all of that out. I'm done drilling holes in the HLT. I'm going to drill holes in the boil kettle now. That's it. Jeez. Alrighty. So, I drilled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I just drilled 12 holes through stainless steel, basically with the same bit. Now I do have 2 step bits. This smaller one actually worked better for the herms coil. No, this one worked better for my temperature probes. It got closer to the same size, so that's 2. So this one did 2. It's actually done way more than that over the years, but that one did 2, and this one did 10. This is a big step bit. It has a lot of options on it, and this 3/16 bit drilled them all as a pilot hole. Now the reason why I'm pointing that out is because no matter how hard you want to do this, no matter how hard you want to get it done, you have to cut slow through stainless and use cutting oil. Lubrication, got to cool that bit down. Don't allow it to get hot. You know, this is a slow process. So cutting oil. Get yourself cutting oil and get yourself good bits. These are actually DeWalt bits. They cost me a little bit, but on this system alone, 10 holes and 2 holes. I remember the very first time I drilled a hole, which would have been this hole, in actually in my other pots. I went through 2 of these bits to drill 2 holes. I destroyed them because I didn't know what I was doing. I was doing what the old man always said. He said, boy, if the lights ain't dimming down, you ain't doing it right. Well, he was wrong. He was 100% wrong. Take care of your tools. Use the right stuff. Cutting oil, good bits, take your time. I have all my holes drilled. Unless I forgot something, but I don't think I have. This one here, I took this temperature dial out because I don't need it. This is going to be controlled by the probe in the back that's going to go through the EBC 330. So I don't really need that dial in the front. So what I wanted to do was I actually plugged it from the inside. So I did happen to have a plug, which is cool, and I plugged it from the inside. If for some reason I want to put that dial plug back in, easy peasy. I just take that plug out and I run my dial back in and I'm good to go. If I want to use this port for something, easy peasy. I can just take that plug out and put it in. So I'm good to go there. I got that set up the way I want. I've got the sparge arms actually still in here. This has got all the holes it's going to have in it and they're hooked up. So I just need to clean this pot real good and just cinch things down a little bit so that it's all good. This pot here, this top hole here is actually going to be for my water back in for when I'm doing my mash. So I'll be coming out, going through the pump and back in. At the same time, I'll be running out of the mash tun into the other pump through the herms coil and back in the top of the mash tun. So all my holes are there, probe in the back. This is my in for water. This is for my herms coil, and over here are the 2 for the burner. For the boil kettle, I put a valve at the top here. So I'm going to put another valve here, and that's simply for me to be able to pull from the mash tun into here. I was just going to lay it in the pot, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to actually just set it in there. I can just cam lock it right on. Everything's sealed, good to go. My 2 holes for my boil coil, and then a whirlpool port on that side. So that should be all of my holes. Now I'm going to go through, since I've been using cotton oil and all that jazz, I'm going to clean these pots up real good with PBW so I get rid of any oils that are on it, and then I'm going to start putting this thing together. One of the things I did not like before was I had this box too close to the wall. So I put in some boards, moved it out, and I marked my probe wires, MT for mash tun and HLT for hot liquor tank. And I color coded them. The MT is in black because that's the black probe, and HLT is in blue because that's the blue probe. I like that a lot better because I can actually see where I plug in the probes at now, and I know which one's which because I color coded them and I put it in, and Mary actually stenciled them with what are they, pen markers or paint pens. So I have one of these deals, command strip, and this is for like holding brooms and whatnot. So I'm going to see if these are actually big enough for these wires. And it is, so that's cool. I can pull that right out. So I'm actually going to get 2 more of these. One I'm going to actually mount right here because I'm going to hang this wire on it. And the other ones I'll hang here for my boil power. So I'll have the one sitting here for, and I'll color code that as well. One of these will hang on the wire for, make sure they look a little bit thinner, but yeah, that'll still work. Cool. So what that'll do then is there'll be 2 of these. Pull my wire back up, and this end will simply These guys will be hanging there side by side. One of these will be for the kettle and one for the HLT. And I'll just set them like that against the wall, and they'll just, that way I always know where they're at. So that was one of Mary's ideas. Really like that too. Booyah! And then this guy will hang just like that. That way when I'm using it, I can just plug it right in and I'm good to go. And when I'm not using it, it'll just sit right there. Just like that. I like it. Hell yeah. That'll work. And the other two will go right here. That way I can have those guys sitting there, and then the wires can just run to the back and come into where the boil coils go. This one will come up through there. Oh yeah, baby, oh yeah. Time to put these pots back together. So that is the HLT. You can see pretty much everything inside of it now. Here's a close-up of the boil kettle. Boil coils hooked up. Sparge arm, okay. And the bottom dip tube, actually it's a dip tube and like so. Dip tube and a circulation. So dip tube will be right down there in the bottom. Mash tun, false bottom. We've got the temperature probe there. Up here is the sparge arm, and in the HLT we have everything. We have the boil coil, we have the herms coil, we have a temperature probe. Actually, there's two temperature probes, and there is the ins and outs. Oh, and that guy's. So I'm actually going to see if I can't screw that one fitting in a little bit further. I'll use my pliers. If I can get that in there, what I may do is see if I can use this as a dip tube on the back side of this here for the boil kettle, which would be sweet if I could do that. This might need a little bit more of an O-ring, but it might work. We'll see. We're going to give it a try. If it doesn't work, it just lays there. It's no big deal. I'll pull it out the next time, and I'll just do like I've always done, just kind of lean her forward till it all comes out. It would be nice to have a dip tube in there, though. So that might be a purchase for me yet, to screw one in there. But this will work good as a whirlpool arm, so that's good. I'm okay with that. That guy's going to be good. Off. And we're going to go ahead and put the Teflon tape on these guys and get them set up. So, and then start putting all the fittings on. The way I'm setting this up is all of the valves and everything on the system itself is going to be the male cam locks. So male cam lock down here, male cam lock down there. There's a male. Those both have males, and those both have males. So they're all males, and what I did was I filled this thing up with water over, so it's just about 15 gallons. I am above everything that has a spigot in it. So 7 gallons, no leaks. Well, yeah. So the only vessel I did not put any water in is the mash tun, because really all I did was drill a hole in the top here for the autosparge. It's going to be fine. I need a cam lock for this guy, I believe. So I'm going to work that out. I did not use the Blichmann pieces that go on on its herms coil. That would be, where did I put them? The elbow pieces. Yeah, I don't know where I put them right now, but I wanted cam locks. So what I have is these guys. I need to put all these guys together, and they will go on like so. Boom. And then down to my pump. So now I need to work out my my hoses. Still need to get some more hardware. I think I need to get a male for back here, unless I have that set up with this one. Nope, that no, it can't be with this one. No. So I'll have to figure that one out, because I know I need 2 males for the other riptide, and I think I'm going to need a 3rd one for here. So I have that. I'm going to go ahead and put my other pieces together, reusing some nipples that I have for the other sides of these. So now I'm going to start working on, I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put these pumps, but kind of where they're at right now I'm fine with. They're right down here in the bottom. I might make a bench to bring them up just a little bit, and I can make that up in the shop, no big deal. I just need to get a measurement of my the bottom and how tall, and then these guys can actually just sit on that, and I think that's probably what I think I'm going to do. Haven't decided if I'm going to weld that up yet, or if I'm just going to make it out of wood. My thoughts are to make it out of wood. And then what I'm going to probably do is put like I might make a tin top to go over top of it. So I'm going to let this thing sit with water in it overnight just to see how everything settles. And then probably tomorrow I'm going to do a boil test. See how long it takes me to get up to a boil. You know, with one pump, I can work all of the stuff. You know, so we'll see how that goes. So I've got my temperature probes hooked up in the back. I could go ahead and plug my my EBC in if I wanted to, and get a reading on the temperature of the water anyway. And none of my heaters, you know, well, wouldn't matter. Everything's covered. I've got 7 gallons of water in here. That's plenty covered, which is cool because now I'm looking at this and I can totally do a 5-gallon batch if I want to in here. So, yeah, so far so good. So far so good. Time to make some hoses.